Welcome back, dear friends and Extinction Rebels. Yeah, we're back to decision making now. The faction. The Galactic Cooperation Council has ruled and changed the way of our behavior a lot, as you can see. They have a lot of influence, 28% support, something unheard of. They started with 18% support, so you can see that our society has quite changed. There's a lot more xenophile people, but also more militarist people in there. And now it's time for you to vote. I will give you the new agendas I've taken. There's, on the Discord, which is also linked in the description below, there's a small discussion channel for the Survive Together series. And people have been bringing forward some inspiration there that I've used to bring that into the factions. So there's some proposals integrated into the new faction agendas. What we did and what we did not reach was, yeah, we reached the Gaia planet. We tried to make friends. It wasn't that great for us, at least. There is no war so far. These people are hostile. They're only hostile because we have increased our strength. These are suspicious. We might get them up. They're harming our relations, but we might do it. We have set 3 envoys on them to maybe turn that around, because it's still in the okay venue. Still belligerent. It would be good if we had at least one friend, and the Star Force would be a magnificent friend militarily. So that's one of the things. We have expanded quite a lot. Our planets have grown. What we didn't get much was more planets, but there are more planets open here. There's a relic world here. And there's a couple of planets that we cannot really settle yet, like the Tundra worlds and so on. But that we may settle in the future. Maybe a goal to make them something like holy worlds later on. That could also be a goal. So there's a border to see here. We don't know. That could be the Star Force, as you can see, expanding into that direction. So that would mean expanding into that direction could be a priority if there is something up for grabs here. And I mean, there is something up for grabs. There's multiple archaeological sites. That could be good. There's good systems. But what is there not? There's not planets. The most valuable thing that we could get here is the Curator Order under our wing, which would be really a good thing to have, but nothing super exciting must have. The juiciest expansion is in this direction, and that we might continue. There's something here too that we want to grab, maybe getting to Chiban and Bish. And Bish is a good defensive system because it has only one way in and one way out. So that could be something to grab for us. Also protecting here the Kanvisam civilization. So now to the agendas of our people. First we have the Survival Guardians. Let's go back here. You can see them. Led by our 3 times revered elder head guardian Andrea Necchi. And they've not gotten many of their issues done. They want conquest, local rivalry. They want an imperial hegemony. So they want to be an overlord. And they want to slay a Leviathan. And they don't want the benevolent subjugation policy. So there's some subject to changes. If you vote for that, there will be definitely some significant changes. We won't rival the Star Force then, but probably the Archduchy, because they've already rivaled us too. That will probably lead to war. Just as to see a consequence. If you select the Survival Guardians, it might lead to a full-blown war, and in my opinion, we're not ready for the war, even though we're preparing. But at this stage in the game, the AI is usually much better than the player. Still. It's still the start of the game, the first 30 years. So, what does the Survival Guardians, what do they want? So they want to double our naval capacity and fleet, make a big starbase at the coming border with the Star Force too, so maybe in Bish. Continue our the Gaia army planet that we've successfully started. They want a research focus. And they want to give combat prevalence. What does that mean? Like if we have... we want to go for cheapest technology first. But if there's a combat technology that would help us, or a combat technology, at the same price, then we'll always pick the combat technology. Something like improved combat health, fleet command limit, gravitic sensors. We've now stepped into that direction just to survive. And that might be just a good thing, but we have not always done it. Then, there's a Spiritualist faction here. Scholars of Gaia, led by the scientist head of the Scholars Lion. He's currently flying around in a spaceship. He's now aging a little bit, so he could die any moment, but still he has the power. He can vote. Lion can vote with his 2 votes. So he's big in there, but someone might replace him. And just to tell you, we have still many people whom you could become, and I will usually go for the youngest to pick. That's my rule. Like if you want to become someone in here again, like Patrick MacDonald, whose character died, unfortunately, doing a massive adventure, then you could be, if he would say, if Patrick MacDonald is here, like, you could say, like, make me a scientist again, and I would use René de Montagnac for you. Only 33, so you'll be in the game for a long time, which is good, I think. So there's that. So the Scholars of Gaia are Spiritualists. The head of the Scholars Lion is a particle scientist, so he wants any particle research possible to be chosen. He wants to use a curator scientist to get to psionics. How does that work? I mean, we're getting here into the curator order, and we will try to get a scientist from them. We want the research focus to make planets more habitable, also psionics, and no terraforming though. Rather adaptation to the planets. What does that mean? It means the similar thing to the prevalence of combat. It will be the prevalence of making planets more habitable and psionics. So if all are like the same cost and nothing is the right thing, then we'll go. When in doubt, we'll always go for the more habitable, more psionics thing. The adaptation. He wants to build 3 more temples at least. That will definitely be done. 3 more temples. And expansion focused on planet grabbing and maybe making a holy world possible, if that is possible. And wants to increase the fleet by 50% as well. Not double the fleet, but increase the fleet by 50% because that is something that needs to be done. So every faction wants that. Otherwise, we have no chance. I mean, we would have no chance now, but we're at least not a preferable target because we have some military, so they will rather go for someone else. And we come to the equality circle. Here. It's led by the scientist asteroidman Viktor Skobelev, whom you can still claim. Like he's a free scientist. And he's also a little bit old, but you could claim him. He's 63, so he has like maybe 10 years more. So that's a significant portion. So could choose him and then become a leader of the equality circle. What is the policies of the equality circle? We can look at that. I mean, they're happy. They have everything fulfilled here, so there's not much change here. But what they want is... first, I mean, he's a scientist, so he wants 2 more research labs built and materials research prevalence, because he's a materials scientist. Research focus in general will be happiness and equality for the society, and he wants gene clinics on every planet for medical development, for the good of the people. He wants to make a resort world if possible, if we find a world here, like we could go to this world, or maybe the relic world, or this world could become our resort world. And he wants to introduce social welfare for everyone, or a utopian abundance if possible. maybe not possible, but social welfare is something he wants to do. What does that mean? Here, wants to set the living standards to social welfare, so unemployed pops have normal happiness and produce unity, and pops have 10% more happiness in general. Unless there is a deficit for the consumer goods. So unless we have no consumer goods at all stored, and we have negative income for them. Also wants to increase the fleet by 50%. Then, last but not least, the Galactic Cooperation Council. It's not part of our governmental ethics, but it's been very successful and is now led by the Admiral friendly Eldrin all under heaven, who converted apparently from being spiritual to being the leader of the Xenophile faction. Probably talked a little bit with Shandale, and is a pretty optimistic dinosaur, and is looking forward to protect primitive species and all other species, and he doesn't want war, things like that. So he wants to protect all aliens. So that means he wants to grab, as a personal policy, many observation posts. As many observation posts as possible to help alien development. He wants to be friendly with the Star Force, but he wants to keep looking for alternatives. He wants to try to get an early defensive pact. A trade network development would be good. But also as an Admiral, he sees the need for defense. So research focus would still be diplomatic if possible. Otherwise rather combat-like. And he wants to increase the fleet by 100% to better protect aliens and primitives. Already started, so we would probably make an outpost here and protect this primitive civilization from the strange Archduchy of Tatavania. Already Roxolana here, and there will be an observation post here. And we will try to find other worlds where there are primitive civilizations, and we'll try to protect them as much as we can. I mean, there's not many left, but we have 2 of them, and we will try to get them to join us and protect them, and possibly also protect the Curator Order. So cast your vote for the factions of the agenda, and the winning faction will get the agenda fulfilled as well as possible. You can grab 1 in-game leader, including the faction heads. So 1 faction head is up for grabs at the moment, and it's the one of here, the Equality Circle, the Steroid Man, Viktor Skubolev. You cannot grab the current ruler. If the character manages to become the ruler, you'll get 3 votes if you vote in the comments. How is it with the votes? You'll get 1 vote from a poll. The poll I'll start in the community tab. Then please comment under the video, not under the poll. I mean, you can comment there too, but I'll count the votes under the video. Okay, so you get an extra vote from that for commenting under the video. You'll get an extra vote if you're in-game as some kind of personality, like one of the leaders, either a scientist or an admiral or a governor. So there's 2 governors, for example, up for grabs. They have a peaceful life. They would live long. You will have another vote extra as a faction leader if you vote in the comments. And of course everyone has a vote in the poll, anonymously. So you can make proposals for the next agendas. So do that. But these agendas now are fixed. But for the next cycle, that starts in 2245, these agendas will be in there. No? So the agendas for now are closed. But anything that comes after, like I've recorded the video, I'll note down. You best discuss them in the Survival Together channel in our Discord, because that's the place I'll look for them. I might pick up others as well, but that's definitely the place I'll look for them when I start to make the new video, the new faction video for the next votes. So start the voting. Vote for your favorite faction. Vote what you think makes us survive. It's called Survive Together for a reason. And have a great time until next time. And happy gaming. This is Manuel Khan signing out. See you soon. And happy gaming.